Hello guys, I want to give a quick update about my health. So about a month ago or so, I made a video talking about how long I've been feeling so bloated, tired after every single meal, and I'm almost like becoming a pregnant lady every single afternoon after eating food because apparently I can't digest majority of the foods and I'm not doing really well, or I haven't been doing well in terms of like gastrointestinal wise. And so like you can watch this video to learn more about it. But anyway, after I made that video, a lot of you guys recommended me to get a SIBO test, which stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, to see whether I have it, because most of my symptoms were overlapping with that, which is bloating after eating. And I would get bloated so much that I, struggle with breathing. It's that bad. And I'm always like gassy. Also, I'm just like struggling to digest anything and I feel very sleepy after meals, etc. etc. Anyway, I got that test yesterday done and the results were negative. So I don't have SIBO. So I've done an endoscopy, I've done a colonoscopy, I've done blood tests, I've done also stool tests, I've done the SIBO test. So I have done so many things, and the answer is that we don't really know. I got diagnosed with gastritis, as well as the IBS, irregular bowel syndrome, but we don't really know what the trigger is. After getting so many tests done, I realized that sometimes you don't know the answer, but I feel like the reason is because, like, especially in Western medicine, how we treat the symptoms or how we treat the diagnosis is a one part of the body. So if I'm struggling with gastrointestinal issues, they only look into digestive system and they don't really look into other parts of the body. What I mean by that is, for example, the gut and brain is connected, right? Like the gut-brain connection. And your gut health affects your brain, your ability to focus, your mental health quite a lot, and your mental health also affects your gut, etc. So like it's vice versa. But when I go to the hospital, there is no way of checking the link between them and how both of them are affecting each other. And after getting so many tests done and talking with multiple doctors, this is my theory of what is going on with my body, okay? But take it with a grain of salt, because this is not medical advice, neither what my doctor told me. My doctor told me just this: we don't really know what's going on. Just avoid the foods that are triggering you. That was it. That's the conclusion. And they prescribed me like probiotics and gas relieving tablets. That's it. So this is my conclusion and this is my guess based on my very limited medical knowledge, okay? There are books like this, for example, The Food-Mood Connection, and there are also so many researches about the gut and brain connection. So my hypothesis, all of my symptoms started like around 4 or 5 years ago, and since then every single year I'm getting endoscopy. Literally every single year. And every single year we figure out that my stomach is inflamed. So what can be the cause? I think, like, when I think about it, 5 years ago, it's the exact time where I was depressed. Like, I got diagnosed with major depression a few years ago. I'm fine now. This is also what my doctor told me, is that my gut microbiome probably changed due to something. That could be food poisoning, that could be something else that we don't know. And in my opinion, it changed due to depression. My dad went bankruptcy, he failed businesses, my uncle scammed us, my father's family side abandoned us, we were struggling financially, and I was probably at the darkest mentally ever. I don't even want to remember that time. And surprisingly, I actually don't remember many of the things because my brain probably labeled as so traumatic that it deleted from my memory, which is kind of scary. I don't remember majority of the things that happened during that time, even people's names, people's faces. It's just a blank. But I remember that it was bad. So during that 5 years of time, every single day I was so stressed, and I would wake up and feel another day. I would feel so drained all the time, and I was struggling with sleep. I remember my heartbeat was so fast all the time because how stressed I was. And my theory is that 5 years ago, due to that high amount of stress and anxiety and depression, probably it affected my gut, that my gut microbiome changed a little bit, that it started to react to foods. First it started with dairy. Till then I was fine with dairy. I was able to digest dairy, but I started to get bloated after eating dairy products, and then it started to get worse and worse and worse. So I got tested for a lactose intolerance, but it was negative. It shows that I don't have lactose intolerance, and now I'm kind of fine with dairy products. Like, I can tolerate to some sort of degree, but if I eat a lot and if I'm stressed that day, I react to it badly. And anyway, so I started to kind of like react to dairy, and then I started to react to like onions and garlic and also spicy food, and then to artificial like sweeteners and stuff like that. And also my bloatings get actually worse during the periods of time where I'm more stressed. Maybe there are like multiple projects going on, or maybe my views are declining, or maybe there's an external something happening in my, you know, own small tiny world that I'm putting myself more pressure in. During those days, I feel more bloated, where I'm not doing anything, or like I'm doing a lot of things, but I'm, you know, just like enjoying my day. Then those days I don't really bloat. Especially also like if I'm working out regularly, I tend to bloat less or less frequently. So those kind of signs, you know, show me that it might be related to actually stress. And the kind of like the starting switch was my depression. Like, this is my personal opinion, okay? This is not medical, or this is not based on scientific evidence. This is based on my hypothesis. So like what I'm planning to do is that obviously be less stressed if that's possible, or like create systems to manage my stress better. And I've been working out like pretty consistently for the last 3-4 years, but there are periods of time where I would be less consistent. But I decided to make working out a non-negotiable in my life, because when I don't work out, I get so stressed, I get so bloated, and I just struggle with breathing that I can't do anything. I am not able to focus because my brain fog is so bad after meals, and I'm so sleepy that I don't do anything. So instead of like trying to save time from not going to the gym, I decided to like do it first thing in the morning, so that I make sure that I work out that day, that I release my stress so that I don't get bloated, therefore I can't focus. So that's the first thing. The second thing that I'm doing is that I also started to do meditation. Like, I've been always like kind of like towards meditation, you know, like I didn't grow up in the Western world, how you would call, and I would be like, it's like a thing where, you know, rich Western people are doing, where they go to yoga on Sunday and meditate. And even though, you know, it's like originated from India as well as in Chinese culture and also in Japanese culture, like Zen meditation, those things are big, I didn't like the representation of what kind of person it is, you know? It kind of felt fake to me. But the more I learn about, you know, meditation, the more I learn about our brain, and also the more I learn about ADHD, executive functions, frontal lobe, and how meditation can help with every single thing that I'm struggling in life, I actually decided to give it a try. And so I have been meditating like for the past few days, like even just 5 minutes before I start my workday. And I hate to admit, but it actually helped me quite a lot. You know, during the day, I would be like, so distracted and so like impulsive and like trying to do that, trying to do this. I'm like, oh my God, I remember to do that. When I do that meditation, even like after a few days, I'm just calm AF. I'm like, okay, I have to do this right now. I remember something. Yeah, okay, but it's not time for that, so let me note down, and then I'll do it later. I'm actually calmed, feeling peace, which is weird. And, you know, it's been only a few days, and if I can see that much of a difference, then I think it's a really good sign that it's working. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it was my limiting belief that I don't really have good impression towards meditation. Like, every person that I know that meditates regularly are kind of fake. Not everyone though, okay? There are wholesome people I know that meditate that I love, but there are also people that are like pretentious, that's the word that I'm looking for. Like, yes, meditation is good, and there are people that actually practice it for the benefits, but there are also so many people that I know that do yoga and meditation that is only for Instagram, and that's only to like look, I don't know, like like it's pretentious. Anyway, I might get cancelled for saying this, but anyway, so I decided to give a chance for that, and it's working. The another thing that I want to try is the vagus nerve stimulation, where there's like a nerve in you can also stimulate it from your ear, you can stimulate it from your throat, if I remember correctly, and it basically helps you to regulate your nervous system and to calm down. So that's another thing that I want to try, and there's like a device to do it, and I definitely want to get it and try to see whether it works. And the another thing is obviously, like, I've been using Whoop for a long time. Whoop is a health device that allows you to track your sleep, track your stress during the day, and recovery, all that stuff. I've been using it for many years and I love it, and I decided to take it more seriously. Like, I would look at my recovery and strain and things like that. I was like, okay, and I would do nothing about it, so I decided to actually actively try to improve it little by little, and also avoid the food groups that I can't tolerate, or at least don't eat them during the day so that I don't get bloated and I don't get distracted. So I eat them at night, because if I get like bloated at night, it's usually okay, because I'm going to sleep anyway. So this is my basically conclusion. Oh, also another thing that I decided to do is learn more about gut health, learn more about gut and brain function, connection. Because I remember I actually read like in a book about autism and ADHD where it was saying that most of the time like neurodivergent people have weaker gut-brain connection or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. But still, like the brain and gut connection, gut-brain axis, or however you call it, is relatively new and not that established from my limited knowledge. So I decided to learn more about it, and this is the next book that I'm going to be reading, The Food Mood Connection. It says OCD, depression, anxiety, ADHD, and more, an indispensable guide to surprising food that fight those things, basically. I'll read about it, and if it's helpful, I might make a video about it. And yeah, so basically this is a little update, and I want to know how's your health is going, or if you have experienced those kind of symptoms, what have you done that helped you? Yeah, let me know, because like in the previous video, you guys told me so many things, and it was genuinely really helpful, and I appreciate you for telling me that, because I genuinely struggle. Like, going out is kind of like a nightmare for me, because I know I will get bloated and I will struggle with breathing, and it's like so stressful that I started to not go out. It's not really good, right? It's like a loophole. It's making me more and more isolated. I'm already antisocial quite a bit, so I shouldn't isolate myself even more. Okay, so I'll try the things, I'll experiment with the things that I said, and I might make another update video if things goes well. But for now, conclusion, I'm working on it, and we don't know what's going. Bye.